Hello everyone. Today we have a particularly interesting story, the protagonist of which is a boy who is often underestimated, but he proves himself to everyone through effort and wisdom. This story is not only touching but also allows us to learn some important life lessons. At the end of the story, we will also learn some new words to help everyone improve their English level. So, please follow us to listen to this wonderful story. A long time ago, in a quiet small town, there lived a little boy named Avon. He was not tall, not strong, and did not seem particularly special, so the villagers often ignored him and even laughed at him. Avon was sad in his heart, but he never complained, just living silently. One day, a traveling merchant came to the town and announced, "The king is looking for a brave person to complete a special mission, to retrieve the lost sword. Whoever finds it will receive great wealth and honor." The young people in the village were excited when they heard this, and they lined up to sign up, looking forward to becoming heroes. Avon also stood out and said, "I want to try too." The villagers laughed when they heard this. "Avon, you can barely carry a bucket of water, and you want to complete the king's mission? Don't waste your time." Avon lowered his head and did not retort, but his eyes were firm. He knew this was his chance to prove himself to everyone. The next morning, all the contestants were gathered in front of the castle gate. The king stood high on the city wall and announced, "The lost sword is hidden deep in the dark forest. The one who finds it must bring it back without the help of others." Remember, this is not just a competition of physical strength, but also a contest of wisdom and courage. Avon quietly observed the other contestants. Some were armed with sharp swords, some were wearing solid armor, and he only had a small backpack with some simple tools and dry food. The villagers whispered as they watched him, "How could this skinny little guy possibly complete such a task?" The contestants entered the forest one after another. Avon did not walk fast, but every step was full of observation. He noticed strange footprints on the ground, broken branches, and some strange plants. He thought, these must be clues left when the sword was lost. On the first day, Avon encountered a rapid river. The other contestants jumped across directly, but Avon hesitated. He noticed some floating logs nearby, so he tied them together with a rope to make a simple raft and safely crossed the river. He thought, this is a competition of wisdom, taking risks might lead to failure. On the second day, the roar of wild animals came from the depths of the forest, and many people began to be afraid and retreated. But Avon did not give up. He carefully bypassed the animals' den, used the dry food he brought to distract them, and quietly continued on. In the early morning of the third day, Avon finally arrived at the deepest part of the forest. He saw a huge swamp, and in the center of the swamp, there was a shining object. It was the king's sword. Other contestants had been deterred by this dangerous swamp, but Avon did not retreat. He carefully observed the terrain, tested the way ahead with branches, and slowly paved a safe path. When Avon finally got the sword, his heart was pounding. He thought, this is my victory, but I must hurry back. With the sword, he spent the whole day safely returning to the castle. Avon stood in front of the king and handed up the sword. The king looked at this thin boy, his eyes full of surprise. "You are the only one among all the contestants who completed the task. You are not only brave but also very smart. Avon, from today on, you will be our hero." When Avon returned to the village, those who had once laughed at him all bowed their heads. They knew they were wrong. Avon smiled and said, "Sometimes, being underestimated is not so bad. It makes me more motivated to prove myself." Through this story, we learn an important lesson. True bravery is not only the courage to face challenges but also the ability to solve problems with wisdom. And those who seem ordinary, as long as they have a firm goal and belief, can also achieve great accomplishments. Thank you for watching today's story. We also learned some new words, such as brave, wisdom, and challenge. Remember, with persistent practice, learning can always be fun. Next time, we will bring more meaningful stories. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.